Good afternoon to the viewers here in Asia, and good evening to all the people sitting out there in the other parts of the early, or I should say late evening in Australia and New Zealand. And then it's probably like very early in the morning, Sunday morning out there in the US and Europe. It'll be like just before lunchtime or so. So thank you everyone for joining right on this on another weekly update on what's happening in Singapore, as well as a feature topic which I'm sure you're all interested to hear about, and how hotels work here in Singapore, and maybe not just in Singapore, but the whole hotel booking system and rating system. Okay, so we've got a really jam-packed agenda today. We're going to cover a lot of things, so I just want to try and zip through it as quickly as I can. There's going to be a lot of reading, so you'll need to kind of keep up, and definitely replay the video and zoom into certain aspects if you wanted to kind of spend a bit more time reading through all the comments later. Okay, there's a lot of copy and pasting that I've done for you guys to make it really, really easy, and so that you it drives home the points. Okay, but the details, like I said, if you need the details, you can go back and review the video later. Okay, so first thing is the weekly update. So the newest things that are happening is that the Nike store in Asia has just opened. Okay, it's just opened. It is the largest store in Asia except for China. Okay, it is the largest. So this is a new thing. I've posted this up on our page, and you can go and have a look and click the video, and you'll be able to see exactly how big it is. Okay, back in this particular building, the building was there like 25 years ago at least, right? Because when I came to Singapore, it was still there, and there used to be this big food court area serving all European type of food, and then that's all gone, and it's been renovated and changed, and now we have Nike taking up a massive 28,000 feet in there. Okay, so the next thing that's happening is Lucky Plaza. So a lot of the Filipinos would have heard of Lucky Plaza. It's a place where a lot of Filipinos go, especially on Sunday, and they now will take over the space that McDonald's used to be at, okay, in basement 1. That will now be owned and run by Jollibee. Okay, so that's a big win for the Filipino community. Events, Taylor Swift added more dates. Okay, last week we talked about it, and then she's added another concert on. Bruno Mars last week announced that there would be concerts, and I think he initially scheduled one, and then it sold out, so he scheduled a second one, and that sold out, and now there's talk. I think yesterday he announced that there will be a third concert. Okay, so if you are interested, go and check those out. The other thing that's happening is you've got the Harry Potter event that's happening in Sentosa, right, in the month of February. So if you see down in the screenshots, you'll be able to see there's the earliest booking you can do is the 4th of February. Okay, so and then you'll see the ticket prices there. It's on the official website. You can go down to that link, type it into your browser, and you'll be able to see what that is. Okay, and then the last one, okay, is the big thing around saving money. So last week I did show, I think earlier on in the week, I did show there was the difference between an EasyLink and a debit credit card usage for public transport, and you saw the queue at an EasyLink office. Okay, that is your typical queue, and it's mostly filled with locals, right, trying to cash in their old cards and things like that. So it does take some time. That queue that you saw, right, would probably take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to clear. Okay, it does take that long. So really, if you are tossing up between an EasyLink card and a debit credit card, if you don't need an EasyLink card, okay, just use your debit credit card. It's a whole lot easier. Okay, so go for that. The other news story that came out in the local media talked about a couple of tourists, I think presumably from Europe somewhere. They were planning their trip to Singapore, and this the picture on the bottom right. They're planning to come to Singapore, and and figured out, oh, it's going to be cheaper to stay at Johor Bahru, right, which is just over the border into Malaysia. It'll be cheaper, and it is true. It is cheaper. However, they didn't plan their trip properly, and what eventually happened is it sounded like they walked across the causeway. Okay, so it's only a 1 kilometer bridge, but the whole experience of landing at Changi Airport, trying to haggle your way through taxi drivers to ask them to drive you all the way into Malaysia, which they can't do, right, and they're not willing to do. The local taxis are actually restricted, so they cannot do that. The maximum they can go to is the Woodlands checkpoint. Okay, so local taxis cannot cross into Malaysia. So I guess these tourists didn't know about it, and so they ended up walking across. Okay, and then I think they talked about arriving at their particular hotel at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. Right? Not the type of experience you want. The key lesson here is to plan. Okay, always plan your trips, which is why you're listening to this show now. Okay, and which is why you're subscribed to the page and you're on the forum groups talking, asking questions and all that. You need to plan. Okay, it's not just for Singapore, it's anything. When you're going for holidays, definitely plan it out. Okay, so the last thing that you need to plan, and again talking about saving money, is this whole idea of hotels. And this brings us nicely into the next topic, which is the feature topic for today. We're having a look at the hotels and the hotel scene. And this, I thought it was pretty funny. Okay, my joke is the one in red, but the reality is the comments in kind of a light greenish yellow color. Okay, so the real situation, and I'll show you in the next couple of slides, is that somebody went to a hotel which had an 8.6 rating on it. 8.6 out of 10 is pretty good. Okay, so it's a really good one. And you're thinking, how is it possible that a person can go into one of these 8.6 trusted review places and have 15 pairs of dirty underwear stolen and a dirty tank top stolen? How is that even possible? And I will show you. Okay, I will show you how it's possible. That joke about the 3,000 star hotel is because there's a hole in the roof. That's why when he looks up, you can see 3,000 stars. That's my own joke. I know, lame. That's a dad joke. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so initially I had the name. There's this bit that says censored at the top. Initially, I had the name of the hotel. Then I thought, it's really not a very flattering review. You can kind of figure it out, okay, on your own, right? But I thought I'd just censor the name, okay, just to kind of not cause too much trouble. But you can figure it out, and if you are concerned, you can reach out to me. Okay, so what I've done, okay, and I've gone through quite a number of hotels. This is why it's going to take a bit of time today. I've gone through quite a number of hotels to identify or to teach you how to identify a hotel and what to look out for. Okay, now budget hotels are like every other hotel. They have ratings, they have people in there who work there who have good moods and bad moods, bad days and good days. They have complaints about poor conditions, unclean rooms, unclean beds, all this type of stuff. Okay, and the key here is to figure out what is acceptable to you and what is not. Okay, and only you will know, right? Because if you ask person A may say, oh yeah, having a bit of hair in the bathroom is fine, right? And person B is like, oh, it's someone's hair and it's not mine, and it's like it becomes a complaint. So it really depends, right? Person to person. Not everyone is the same, right? Okay, so let's just have a quick look how I've done this. Okay, so you see, I've taken some primary sites. Okay, so one is Google, the other is Agoda, and then the third one is Booking.com. Okay, So with the reviews, and it's purely because I don't have the space. This slide is already kind of, you see some of the text is really small, and I will try and help you guys and zoom in and we'll have a look, okay? But it's due to the lack of space on this slide that I just can't put everything in. I'd love to put in more, okay? So Google reviews have rated this particular hotel at a 4.2, okay? Agoda as 8.6, and Booking.com 8.4. And then what I've done is I've taken here 305 reviews. I know it's a bit small. Let me see. Zoom in. Okay, so there's 305 reviews here. Okay, there are 1955 reviews and 2594 reviews. Okay, and what we do is we take the Google Maps 305 reviews. So what I would do is I would take the last 10 reviews, okay? And again, if I could put 20, I would put 20, but yeah, it's time consuming. That's one thing, and I just don't have the room here. But I would just pick the last 10. Why do I pick recent reviews? Because the recent reviews are the ones that have happened like closer to your travel date. Okay, some of these hotels have been around for many years, and you don't want to be reading a review that's like 4 years old, 6 years old, 2.5 years old, because things have changed. Okay, so you only look at the recent reviews. Okay, that will give you a better perspective of what is actually going on in this particular hotel. Okay, and reviews from people who have been there recently. Okay, you don't want the old stuff, you want the recent stuff. The second thing that we do, okay, is we look at the recent low reviews. Okay, so not only recent reviews, right? Here you've got like a 1, okay? So I've just plugged in the last, the most recent 10. So I put 3, 5, 4, 5, 1, okay? So 1 is a low review, okay? And then there were more, and there's a 3.7, but was 3.7 particularly low? No, it's not a particularly low score. Okay, so with the recent ones, I've taken anything in the last 6 months. Okay, just the last 6 months. So let's have a look here, just as an example. Okay, this person said, okay, the review from last 6 months, they gave it a score of 1. They said location is good, budget hostel, reflected in the rooms and bathrooms. The air conditioning within the pod is completely ineffective, so it's got problems with aircon. Right, therefore my friend and I had to leave our blind door open because it's a pod, so there's a kind of shield, right? They left it open in order to benefit from airflow from the air conditioning in the main section of the room, which was okay at best. It wasn't fantastic. The pod with the blind shut was completely insufferable. There was no air circulation. Guests came in at 2 and 5 a.m., turned the room light on, which disturbed our sleep. Even more so when they could have done, even more so than they would have done had our blind been down. The room and the pods themselves left dirty and bad smell. The bathrooms are unclean with dirt in corners on handles. This is a budget hostel and is cheap, near transport. However, I would not recommend this to visitors of Singapore. Would never stay here again. He rated it a 1. Okay, now this is the other review. Do not ever stay here if you are a solo female. Okay, 15 pairs of dirty underwear stolen, dirty tank top stolen, sneaker inserts stolen, migrant workers crowd up the place and face 0 consequences for nasty actions. Receptionist works hard but is never there, so basically is 0 security. Bathroom very dirty because only 3 shared for the entire hostel. Nasty. Okay, so you get a rough idea, right? These are the types of reviews. So we then look at another site, okay, just to be fair and make sure it's balanced, okay? The key difference between Booking.com, the key difference with reviews from Google is that anyone can write a review. I can even go onto the Google page and just write a review on anything. I don't need to have been at that place. I could be a competitor, and as a competitor, I want to make these guys look bad so that I look good, right? It could be like that, but it's kind of wide open, right? And people can do various things and manipulate it to some extent, okay? Booking.com and Agoda.com, they will send you reviews, they will send you a survey after you stay, so you got to pay. You got to pay your, Agoda or Booking.com booking fee and all that stuff, and then at the end of your stay they will send you a survey, and only if you have that survey then you can kind of go and fill it out, right? You can't just go in there and fill out reviews. So in terms of reliability, I suppose though Agoda and Booking.com have better stuff, they have also kind of more granular details, right? Not a free flow text where you can write anything you want. They've got pluses and minuses. So here you'll say, here's one, right? The last 10 reviews, if you add them up, it's about 66, okay? So it's a 6 out of 10. So I just converted it to the same. So here you've got 83, which is, because everything's out of 5, so I think that's about, what's my maths? 4.1, right? Or 4.1 and a half, right? So that out of 5, and then this would have been 6.6 out of 10. So that's why just making it into a percentage makes it easier to compare, okay? So you see this person has put 1, I didn't even stay, checked out straight away, I don't like it at all, stench of smell in the room, dim lights and many more. Okay, so again, it's only the recent reviews that I'm pasting here, okay, just to give you an idea. I don't want to go back like 3 years and pick something from there. It's just the recent low reviews, okay? So it was December. Here's one, they were not straightforward at all with the dealing with my credit card and was threatening to cancel me. Here they charged me despite allegations of the validity of my credit and was threatening to cancel if I did get no reply. So I presumed they were cancelling me, and lo and behold they charged my credit card for the stay, which they said was unverifiable, so I presume was cancelled. So he's got problems with credit card stuff. Okay, then you've got another one, it is worth a cheap price, good location, but it stinks, right? I couldn't sleep because of the smell. Another one said avoid. Sleeping pod was clean and modern. Bathrooms were filthy. There were cockroaches crawling on the floor. Couldn't bring myself to shower while I was there. There was also long-term sleepers or homeless people in the hostel. Okay, so again, kind of giving you an idea of what this hostel is like. Okay, from the last 10 reviews. Okay, and 3 low reviews in the last 6 months. Okay, so all throughout this presentation I'm taking the same format, okay, so you have an idea. I also put in here a map, okay, so like I said, you can kind of work out where this place is if you really want to, but there's a map here, and then I also highlight here the pluses. Okay, so a plus here was it was all from Google Maps, right? It was under $50 a night, right? It's hard to get a place under $50 a night in Singapore. Our Junaid MRT is 130 meters away, so it's really, really close. So I've picked all these ones for review which are really close to the MRT. Okay, it's like 2 minutes walk, that type of stuff. It's really, really, really close, and it's cheap. Okay, so that's what this review is about. Then you had, I've ticked it off, you got food, right, all around the place, convenience stores, and there's a medical clinic. Okay, so just giving you an idea what this is about. Okay, so how to use the reviews, like I've mentioned, you go and choose those which are recent, okay, and those which are negative. There's no use looking at the reviews and seeing 8.6 and going, wow, I'm going to book this place. That is not the way to use it, okay? You're supposed to go through and read the recent reviews to see what it's been like and the negative reviews. Don't focus on the positives. Focus on the negatives, because the deal breakers for you and the things that are going to keep you up at night in that particular hotel or hostel, or the things that are going to cause you to move out, are the negatives. They're not the positives. So focus on the negatives and get an idea of what type of negatives there are and whether you can take it. And this will come out in the summary at the end. Okay. Don't look at outdated reviews, okay, because they are purely outdated. Something that happened 4 years ago, management could have changed, renovations could have happened, and if you're reading stuff from like 4 years ago, you know, things have changed, okay? So read the recent stuff. Google Maps is public, right, which I mentioned, so anyone can do a review here. The other thing that we're going to do after this slide is we're going to go through a few others which are under $100 a night, okay? Then we're going to look at the $150 a night, right, that range, okay? I'm not going to go in detail for that, just a high level. We're going to look at the whole topic of Airbnb, because I know a lot of people have asked that question, whether it's okay to stay in Airbnb or whether there is Airbnb, and I'll cover that. And then the last one, which I probably will leave till next time, is this whole question of $149 for 3 days, 2 nights in a 5-star hotel. I'll just have a quick word about that later, but I think it's better if we arrange a separate session for that. Okay, so let's move on. So the whole idea, okay, just to give you an idea how I did the search, okay, because ultimately these sessions are here to teach you how to do it for yourself, okay. I'd prefer not to give you the answers, okay, because like I said at the beginning, everyone is different. What is good for person A is not good for person B, okay. So what I did is I typed in budget hotels, alright, and then I just picked random dates, okay, so these dates don't mean anything to me, right, I just put 5th and 6th of February, just a one-nighter, okay, and then I made it for 2 people. See, all these things have popped up, okay, so this is Google Maps, and then I moved the slider down to a reasonable number, right, say your budget is 100, let's say $100, okay, around there. Okay, so you'll see that, oh, okay, within the whole Singapore, there's stuff like here, like this. And what I did is I zoomed in to pick those which are along the train line, because the MRT is your lifeline. Okay, so for me, I would say this is a bit far, okay? If you can get something closer, get it closer. Okay, so we go along the train line, that was Kembangan, Eunos. We keep going west, right? So the airport was on the right. Keep going west. Oh, okay, there's this thing, capsule pod at Aljunied. We keep going west. Here's one, spacepod.com, okay, which we will do a review on next. Keep going west. Lavender has a few, but in terms of price, right, under $100, it doesn't pop up. We have things around Bugis, Backpacker Cozy Corner, right? We're going to go and have a quick look at that. City Hall, then it goes down to Clarke Quay. Clarke Quay, I didn't pull anything up. There's one Chinatown. Which one did I pick? I think I did Wink. Wink at Moss Street, right? This one, right? These are all really close to the MRT. Okay, so that's why I've chosen them. And it's just for demonstration purposes. Okay, Butternut Tree is a bit further, but it was kind of the only one around Outram Park. Okay. And then there was one more, I think it was Jalan Besar. Where's Jalan Besar? Here's a bit further up. Here, was it? Bendemeer. Jalan Besar, there you go, this one. Okay, ST Signature Jalan Besar. There you go, Jalan Besar MRT. Okay, so these are the things that we're doing. Okay, we're going to go through this. So let me just switch back to the presentation. Okay, so capsule pod at com. Okay, don't know why it's like that. But anyway, that's fine. So again, it's the same idea of 4.2 on the Google reviews, 8.6, right, on the right, 7.8, Oops. 7.8. We have a look at the number of reviews. Oops, that should be 419. Right, you've got a few different ones. It's come up with a 78% and an 87%. Right, and let's focus on the comments. Okay, if we zoom in. So here you'll see the comments. Location of hostel is fine. It's close to MRT. However, the room quality is not so good. There are always cigarette smell in the building, even in the sleeping area. Facilities are fine, but no privacy. Capsule door cannot be locked. Only a small curtain to close out the capsule. For 2 people, the locker is not remotely enough to keep our stuff. I booked for 2 rooms. I only stayed for 1. Give up another one because I don't feel comfortable to stay for the night. Okay, so smoking smell. So just to make it easy, right, just for this presentation, I just went and put icons so it's easy if you want to review later. Okay, the next review, very odd experience. Start out with the good things. Lady reception is super nice. Help me with everything I need. Pod itself, spacious, comfortable, even for a tall person like me. There's free laundry. You get a locker. But there is a huge that ruined the whole experience. This place is really a backpacker. Is not really a backpacker traveler hostel, more like a social housing. There is people who live there, immigrants from India and China, and even a very old weird man. As a female solo traveler, I didn't feel comfortable to be in this environment. Also, there's a weird smell in the common kitchen area. Okay, alright, so I put issues with the actual place. Okay. So if we move, I think this one's a booking.com one, right? Again, lower scores. We focus on the low scores, okay? Because I want to see what the issues are. This one says, the room is very dirty. The roommates cough all the night. The USB charge is broken. The bathroom is very dirty, so we didn't take a shower that night. Won't be staying there again. Dirty. Very bad experience. Very small place to sleep. Staff only, one lady, very rude, very warm, big room, small, right? I guess it's a staffing issue. I booked spacepod.com, but they give me bed in space at spacepod at SG's. Must be a different place. There's no proper order. They fellow guy was behaving rudely with us. Nobody to help. Compromised with him because of safety. Oh, okay. So that's a staffing issue as well. And then the last one here, so this is from Google, close to the MRT, however double pods are too small for 2 people, more so when the air conditioning didn't work the entire night. Also just 2 to 3 bathrooms for over 20 people staying in the hostel, and you could find bathrooms mostly choked or dirty. You get what you pay for. That's true, you get what you pay for. Good cheap option if you are looking for a place to crash. I think that's a wise comment, and that's probably one of the summaries to take away from this whole review thing. Okay, so again, not very clean, right? So if you have a look at the staff, right, again, it's under $50 a night. Kallang MRT is around the corner. Food is there. Convenience stores, medical care, right? So there's stuff there. Okay, next one. This is at Bugis, Backpacker Cozy Corner Guest House, right? A lot of reviews, 10 recent reviews, comes out at 92%. On booking.com, it's about 76%. Let's zoom into what was spoken about. Okay, this person was 3 months ago. The rooms and bathroom are terrifying by hotel and even hostel standards. There is air conditioning, good Wi-Fi, so 1 star, right? Second for location. Next person is, when we arrived, it was very pleasant. The staff were friendly, very helpful, but when whoever it is asked for help carrying our luggage, he wasn't willing. We women carried suitcases from 2nd floor up the stairs. There was no lift. We just looked at it without help. Okay, so not happy about the service. The last one is good location, great host, allowing you to leave your bags after checking out and using the hotel and shower when back to collect it. Rooms are very basic, good AC, air conditioning and Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, with everything else in Singapore, the prices are ridiculous. Okay, this guy didn't like the price, but he thought it was pretty okay as a place. Okay, so this is the one under booking. It's got bad, it's really dirty, really dirty. Showers, toilets, even in your room, you'll find cockroaches. Room is super small, plenty of stuff broken inside. Not value for money. The same price can stay 4-star hotel in Malaysia, right? What do you say? Cockroaches running under the bed, very dusty, no dustbin. Light very dim, air ventilator is not working. One power switch controls 2 lights. Facilities, toilet not clean. Wall tiles sticked with black marble paper. Make the whole toilet dark. Okay. Stairwell full of old junk with dust, even the used bedsheet. Yeah, dirty. Only the location is good. Toilet and bathroom not very clean. No toilet, bathroom on every floor, so you have to walk stairs at night. Room has no window. Look like a prison. Oh no. Just to sleep and go. Better to pay a bit more. Okay. So this one, again, you've got the whole idea of unclean, bad staff, and overpriced. Okay, it's around Bugis, 130 meters. It's like literally across the shopping center. Okay, convenience stores, attractions, medical clinic, and around Bugis there's a hospital. It's called Raffles Hospital. It's a private hospital. It's one of the top hospitals. Quite expensive there, but it is a hospital if you do need one. Okay, next one, Butternut Tree Hotel. A lot of reviews, 80% on Google. It's about 89% on Booking.com. Let's look at some of the poor reviews. So other than location near the MRT, this place doesn't have a single redeeming quality. The rooms were basically one narrow small corridor, which felt very claustrophobic. Means very cramped, and you feel like everything is really, you're stuck inside something really small. The bathroom was tiny and the shower was really difficult to control. Everything gets wet when you take a shower. Worst part was the staff. With the exception of one lady, the staff was constantly rude, condescending. The internet sucked, and when we complained, we were told it was probably our own phones. Do not stay here. Okay, not happy with the place, and also not happy with the staff. Another one, bad customer service. Check-in time was 3 p.m, but when we arrived at 4 p.m, we were told our room is not ready. Blah blah blah. Okay, so this one is mostly about the room wasn't ready, and then they were told to go away and then come back later. Okay, so they weren't happy with the staff. This one, okay, so it took a while. It took 60 days to get their deposit back. So a person saying they feel it's illegal. Money issue. Another one, too smelly, especially the nicotine on the second floor room. So someone's been smoking in there. Hilarious. Room was only a room in the literal sense. A space surrounded by walls behind a door. The XL room, extra large room, was 2 beds separated by a kitchen island. There were all the facilities, but the maintenance and the stuff were like a prank. There was no room cleaning. The beds were made in haste by hastily throwing over the covers on them every day. At least coffee pouches were refilled. Super noisy at night, no insulation. Okay, so that was a while ago. Sorry, I missed that. That was February. Okay, but issues with the room. And then the last one, this was for Google. During my stay, I was bitten 10 insects. My legs were so swollen that I couldn't walk. Maybe it's bed bugs. The elevator wasn't working, and an accident could happen at any time. Okay, so problem with that. Okay, so if we have a look, so Butternut Tree is a bit further away. It's about 600 meters because you got to go and go around here, right, along the other side. If I remember correctly, there is a way of cutting through the park, so you can probably go through here and cut through the park area, which is a shorter way, so you don't have to go the whole way around. Okay, but Google Maps, it just mapped the whole thing. Okay, so overall it's got a 3.6 and an 8.2. Okay. Next one is ST Signature Jalan Besar, right? A lot of reviews, 79% and 83% for recent comments. Okay, and let's look at the ones which are the comments. Overall, not a good experience. We shared a bathroom, double room to our surprise. The shared bathroom was shared between both genders. Okay, so what's worse was that the area where the rooms and bathroom was not secure. Okay, so yeah, okay, so anyone can kind of go in and out. You can see random foreigners and locals walking on just to use the toilet. Rooms were not clean, towels were stained, random nails and hair lying around, bathroom and toilet had a stench. It was so bad, I requested an upgrade, which was not cheap at all, given the standards provided. Every morning we got a morning call at 6 a.m. Who lifts and slams, I don't think it's mattresses, I think, slams down the phone on the ground. Even our new room upstairs lacks security. You do not need to tap a card to use the lift to go to rooms, which means any random person can go upstairs. Okay, we kept our bags locked, did not even dare to keep valuables inside. Definitely a no-no next time. Only plus side was the location. Right, so all of these have really good locations. They're like right next to MRT. Okay, so if that's what you want, that's why you kind of look at these places. Okay, another one. The staff was lazy. The girl with long lashes just playing with the phone all the time does not bother helping us with anything. The Indian guy is also not helpful. Overall, customer service sucks, and they really do not look like they want to be there. The rooms were smelling straight up chemicals. It was so hard to breathe normally. I saw someone wrote the same review 3 months ago and it's still the same. The check-in procedure takes too long, so you have to download the apps and whatnot. So annoying. Rooms were too small. The pillows are so flat. The only thing I like about this place, near the MRT, but I personally won't book it again. Oh, to add this on, the hotel is nearer to the street, so it gets really noisy. Okay, moving to booking.com. The aircon in the room was not cooling. The walkway outside the room was even colder than the room. No shower gel. Toilet is moldy. Poor water drainage. The whole toilet gets wet after a shower. Lastly, poor customer service. There's really nobody there for you to consult pertaining to your room. There's a 24-hour WhatsApp chat. However, the answers seem programmed, answered by a robot. Very, very disappointing. The worst stay in 2 months of traveling. The room was disgusting, full of mold, smelled so bad, had to use my expensive perfume all over the bed that I could fall asleep. There was so much humidity that the bed was all wet. Oh, yeah. The staff was trying to solve the problem, but it was so slow we managed to fall asleep during that time. The worst experience of my life. Oh dear. Okay, bad service. Asked for advice and call, but there was no answer. Missed calls. Don't call the customer service. Don't call the customer. Sucks. Don't go to this place. Not ideal for a layover. Too much noise till early morning. Even people plugging charger can be heard. It has been the worst sleep I've had during traveling. Okay, that's not a very good review. Under $100, near Jalan Besar. It's like literally round the corner from Jalan Besar. Food is there, convenience and all that stuff. Okay, and then the last one I have on this list, okay, is Wing at Moss Street. So this one has a lot of reviews as well, 82%, 83%. Just zooming in quickly. Okay, so this they didn't particularly like this particular hotel manager. They said he's a hypocrite. The next one, false claims. They claimed the air conditioners were switched on but could not discern a noticeable difference in air quality or air temperature or humidity. Not really happy. Bad smell, no ventilation. Windows cannot be opened. There were no fans. Okay, and then the last one, really the worst place. Even if the aircon breaks down, no action is taken. No one cares if they can't sleep because it's too hot. Everything is worse. I recommend it I recommend using it when it snows in Singapore. Obviously, it means don't go here. And from Booking, I was only able to find 2 recent low reviews from Booking.com. So this one is that you have to take off your shoes, right? Which in Singapore is actually not uncommon, okay? But they don't really make it a rule in hotels. So this one seems to have made it a rule. Okay, so and then the other thing is one staff member particularly very rude, did not want to be there. Cleanliness was not very good, no shoe policy, but floors were not cleaned regularly at all. So I think people got issues with you have to take off your shoes, but then the floor's not clean. Okay, so that's just giving you another idea. Under $70 a night. This around the corner from sorry, this is the wrong map. Under the corner, around the corner from Chinatown MRT. Okay, so so here is the summary which you need to take note of. Okay, a budget price will get you budget quality, location, stairs. Location might be okay, but something will have to trade off, right? So you get poor quality. You have to have stairs climbing up the stairs. You have to use shared facilities, etc. Okay. In general, right? Very, very, very generally, the price you pay will determine what type of accommodation you get. Okay, you might have some outliers which are particularly good, but in general, most of them, it's what you pay for what you get. Okay. Next thing, you always read the reviews. Okay, for a budget hotel. If you've got issues with cockroaches, don't stay in that budget hotel if you're scared of cockroaches. Okay, like I said at the beginning, if you've got issues with hair in the bathroom, then don't stay at that particular hotel. All right, go and find places that you'll be able to kind of that you wouldn't have problems staying at. Okay, next one, read the hotel responses. If you from all of those budget ones, there were no hotel responses. Okay, so the reviews were written and the hotel can reply and they can say, hey, you know, actually the situation is like this, but they didn't. Okay, so obviously the hotels are not really interested in your comments anyway. Investigate the low ratings. Okay, like what I said, right? If hair matters for you, if cockroaches matter for you, you need to decide. Nobody can decide that for you because only you will know what's acceptable and what is not acceptable. So if you have a look at the common issues, right, if I summarized it, the common issues from budget hotels are poor ventilation, housing for locals, right, as in not all tourists, and small rooms. The other issue is cigarette smells. That has popped up a few times. Cleanliness definitely is an issue. It popped up in a lot of reviews. Staff friendliness, yes, that was definitely an issue as well. And expensive or deposit refund delays, that popped up a couple of times. Okay, so what you should do if you are planning to book a budget hotel, also look up a backup hotel. Okay, because you would have seen from the reviews that some people were not happy and after one night they decided to leave and just find another one. If you've done your homework, A, you shouldn't be surprised, and B, even if you are surprised, you would have a backup hotel there. Okay, so create a backup plan just in case, right, you need to move out from this hotel for whatever reason. Then you say, oh, okay, actually I did my research, here's a backup hotel, I'll give them a call. Okay, all right, so that's with the budget hotels. Now what I did is I then moved up a notch, and instead of my limit being $100, I said, okay, let's move the limit to about $150. Okay, so if it's between 100 and 150, what type of stuff could I get? So I went to Google and I did the same type of thing, but I moved the slider instead of from 0 to 100, I did from 100 to 150, and these are the ones that popped up. Okay, and what I also did is I selected the rating, okay, the guest rating. Okay, so if you have a look at this, these are the criteria that I've put in, 102 to 150. I put a guest rating of 4.5, and then I've said list it from the highest rating down. Okay, so it just showed you what you'll pay for at this particular time between 5th of February and 6th of February. Again, these are just random dates. They said a 2-star hotel is typically about $70 to $131 around this middle part, but you're paying $72. It's okay, not bad. 3-star hotels, it's about $103 to $182. 4 stars, $171 to $305, and then 5-star hotels, $353 to $601. So it gives you a rough idea of what price ranges you're looking at, okay, for particular dates. And then what I did is I said, okay, well, based on the 102 to 150, pull for me all the different hotels here. okay, so I can have a look. And then I manually went in, right? So this is just a summary. I manually went in and I figured out, okay, what is the distance from the nearest MRT? And this one was like 550 meters. So as a rough guide, 500 meters would be about a 10-minute walk, okay, roughly. Depends how quickly you walk, but I would say roughly 10-minute walk if you're kind of leisurely, taking your time and not stressing out, okay? So it's about 550 for this one, 500, 600 meters. This is good, right? It's a 300 meter away, not too far. Another one here is Rochor, 60 meters away. Maxwell, 400 meters away, right? And then I searched for these dates, 5th and the 6th, and I said, okay, with the 5th and the 6th, what is the price? So I went into Google and checked, and if I clicked one by one, you could see Google's price is about 147, 110. They're all in the range. And then I went to Agoda and I did the same. So with Agoda, their prices, some are about. So this one here, Rochor, right? I think the Agoda price is 52, which ended up being just for the pod, okay? But this 115 is for the whole room, something like that. But in general, Agodas are a little bit more expensive. The Ibis budget is the same right here. Atelier, it didn't have a price for Agoda, but they're all within that range, about there. Okay, so previously we saw the ratings for Google, right? So I just copy and pasted the ratings there, and then these are ratings for Agoda. Okay, just to give you an idea. Now, but it's the same type of thing, right? You will always get comments here. So if you have a look, right, here are the comments, right? It says the smallest room I've ever seen. Okay, so this one's all about the small room. This one says the room is too small, right? Bathroom didn't have separation between wet and dry. This one says the shower was okay, aircon was okay, unfriendly staff, right? TV doesn't work, housekeeping just leaves it like that, need to take the steps up and into the room to get entrance to the bed, complaints about the room door. This person's quite detailed, so they're complaining about everything, right? Next one you can have a look at, very poor, let me see. This one. Okay, so this one said stuff was missing, remote control was missing, but and they were asked to pay extra. This one was talking about, okay, the hotel floor was wet. So I've just combined all of the reviews together, just to kind of save a bit of room and speed things up. I know it's very late. Okay, different types of things, right? Wet floor, excessive noise. Next one talks about ants in the bed, right? Small lounge area, a bit of transparency, right? People who are rude, problems with the toilet not flushing, right? I think lockers, not happy with the locker situation. Not happy with the shampoo not getting refilled, right? This guy lost his jeans. And then look at this, right? This particular hotel, the Dream Chaser Boutique Capsule Hotel, they replied. They said, thank you for choosing. We've checked with our housekeeping team, blah, 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 blah. Troublesome check-in. Right, check-in location. Check-in requires internet, location, Bluetooth. It was troublesome. This one's disappointing. The room had no window. It's different from the picture. Okay, and then the last ones here. Right, having travelled so long to reach, we're disappointed. There's no tea bags, only coffee. Okay. And then another one, breakfast was okay. I'm a tea drinker. I had to go to a close hotel to have my tea. Okay. And then there's another one talking about the rooms didn't have any windows, didn't get to move to another room. This one says there was no hot water when you take a shower. Really shocked that nobody mentioned it. The sink in the bathroom is terrible. When you take a shower, you'll stand in the wastewater. Okay, so the thing that I want to point out here is I've just copy and pasted here from the budget hotel. So if you look at this, poor ventilation, housing of local small rooms, blah, 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 all of this is from the budget hotels. But when you look at the mid-range hotels, none of the reviews that I went through had issues about poor ventilation. None of them talked about housing local people or people from China or India and migrant workers, right? Nobody complains about cigarette smell. Nobody complains about deposit refund delays. Okay, there were still complaints about the room being small. There were still some complaints about cleanliness, but not like the budget hotel version. This is a lot tamer, and I think it's a different level. And then the staff friendliness and rudeness, it doesn't sound as bad as the budget hotel ones. Okay, expensive, yeah, it's still expensive. Okay, so that gives you a rough idea of what it's like, the difference between the budget and the mid-range, okay? So that you can make your own decision, right? I'm not telling you go for budget. I'm not telling you go for mid-range. I'm not telling you go for these specific hotels. They're just random hotels that I've just picked and I've just done the review like that, okay? And I haven't been to a hotel, so nobody's paying for this. It's totally not sponsored. It's just picking it off Google Maps and just kind of going through the comments that are publicly available on Google and on booking.com and agoda.com. Okay, so you make your own decision. Now, moving on topics. Okay, I want to finish up soon. There was a question on Airbnb, right? And this is a relevant topic because there are some groups that do come through, like can be a couple of families, 9 people, 12 people coming over to Singapore, and you all want to stay together or reduce the expenses or at least fit as many people into an accommodation place as possible. Okay, and so in other countries, one of the natural places is go and pick an Airbnb. When I go overseas, I do the same. Okay, however, in Singapore, there was an initial attempt to try Airbnb, but things kind of got a bit out of hand. Okay, so there started to be a lot of people moving in and out, and it became disruptive and stuff like that for the people staying in these particular towers. Okay, because Singapore, it's a lot of it is staying in units and apartments. Okay, so it's like a tower block with 100 different residents in there, something like that, right? 100 different units in there. And so what people were doing is they were taking their unit and renting it out to tourists. Okay, but then because people started kind of coming in and out and being disruptive, not very used to the local way of living, maybe being noisy at night and all this type of stuff, then this whole regulation came up and the law came out that you cannot use Airbnb, okay, in Singapore. So if you have a read of it, okay, so this comes from the URA. Okay, URA is a government organization, Singapore government agency. And they said all residential properties in Singapore, condominiums, walk-up apartments, flats, bungalows, semi-detached terrace houses are intended for long-term residents. Under the law, they are not allowed to be used for short-term accommodation defined as stays of less than 3 consecutive months. An example of short-term accommodation is when short-term visitors such as tourists book and stay at such properties for a few days. The purpose of this regulation is to safeguard the safety, privacy and security of homes and the residential character of local communities, which would be compromised by the present and frequent coming and going of short-term visitors. Okay, if you want to go and read more about this, okay, there's a logic and all this type of stuff. You go and have a look at this particular link, okay, down the bottom of the page. You can go and type it in, Google it or whatever. It's under URA. Okay, it's a government website. Okay, so I hope that clears the question on Airbnb. And then the last slide, which I probably won't talk about today, is, and again, this is a common question that comes up quite frequently, and you would have seen it, right? When you scroll through everyone's group pages, right, you'll see all these people saying, you know, I've got 5-star accommodation, 3 days, 2 nights, 149 Singapore dollars, it's legit, it's real, all this type of stuff. Okay, and there seems to be quite a number of people who go and post these types of things. Do go and have a look, okay? Read through it, make your own decision, right? What I want to do is I want to pull one of these guys in, or maybe another one, right, who's selling these types of packages, to come in and explain for themselves, okay? But my view is, yes, they are legit, but there is a catch, and I'll let these guys go and talk to you about that particular catch. Okay, so that brings us to the end. I know it's a lot of information. Okay, there was a lot of stuff regarding the reviews that were done, but it was important for you to realize and to understand why you need to look into the details. Okay, on the surface, a score from Agoda, Booking, or Google can look really, really good, right? An 8.6, you know, a 4.5 out of 5. You know, the reviews can look really good, and a lot of the numbers are skewed because of past reviews. Okay, so the past reviews from like 4 years ago, when the hotel used to be really, really good, run really, really well, and then the score was really good, and then recently recently the score has come down, right, because of change of management, the you know, change of owner or something like that, or change of business model, or various reasons, you know, and no maintenance or upkeep of the property, and therefore the whole thing has come down. But the thing is, if you just rely on the scores, it's not going to flag that up to you. You need to go into the details, change it to the recent comments, and go look at the recent comments. That is the most important. Okay, it applies to whether you're going for the budget or whether you're going for the mid-tier hotels. Okay, it applies the same. It's just the problems that you have in the budget hotels are different from the mid-tier hotels. Okay, and you would have seen there's no complaints about certain things like transient people in there. You know, the cleanliness is of a different standard. Things like that. Even the rudeness of the staff is of a different standard. Okay, so now that you know all of this, you guys go and make the decision for yourselves. If you do have questions, right, about this video, do put them into the comments, and I will review every single one of them. Okay, so take care, have a great week, and I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye bye.